Hello again to anyone watching these Kaijudo videos. Today I'm here with the round 2 feature match between myself and Darksigner, and joining me to help me cover is Darksigner himself from the German Duel Masters channel. How's it going, man?
Everything's fine. Hello, guys, and I hope you guys enjoy this dual commentary where the
Yeah,
opponents.
yeah, it's a pleasure to have a professional like yourself on. You know, very experienced with this sort of thing, aren't you?
Yeah, like not that experienced in Kaijudo yet, but
Yeah.
I'm getting there. I'm getting there.
Okay. So, I guess we can jump in and start with the decks, just covering that and the matchup really quick before we get into the games. So, obviously, you brought pretty much the same water light deck that you brought to the first tournament. Um, we don't have to go too much into specifics, but
Yeah. No, I maybe just the changes because I think it's only two cards.
yeah,
If I remember correctly, like I cut the Cloudwalker drone. You're really high on that, I think.
not super high.
And
I
I
like the
don't.
card. I think it's good, but
I didn't like it last tournament. Like
hmm
it really underperformed. Was like every time I had it, I just wanted to charge it and never play it. Um, and I I made the mistake, a very big mistake. I admit it. I didn't play three Blinder Beetle Prime.
yeah,
That was a huge mistake. And also, like every time I got Sasha on board. I think like I was in a winning position, so I added a second one as well, and that were the Cloudwalker drones. And then the other change was Cyber Scamp went out of the deck for Magris, and we discussed this change
a,
right
li-
before the tournament.
a little bit. It's
And yeah,
yeah,
we didn't anticipate much control, so that was mainly the reason for the change.
yeah. I think it was probably worked out fine. I think both cards are. I mean, Cyber Scam's obviously a really powerful card, but Magris adds a nice dimension to the deck being a one mana bait creature, I guess. It does nice things,
Yeah,
but I think
the
like the
bait, yeah,
yeah, the usefulness of like
the
the one
bait part
drop
is true.
attacker though isn't like that strong most of the time, because I think it's like a little bit better to just kind of play a more sort of like not controlling game, but like just play some higher impact creatures and try to manage your opponent's board with like piercings, and just going like full aggro with like one drop curves isn't the most. I don't think it's like the best way to approach the aggro mirrors in Kaijudo, so I don't know if it has as
Yeah,
much
like
value
aggro
there.
mirrors in general, I think is it's probably better to like wait
hmm
it out until
Yeah,
like you can go for like more significant damage and not like rush into it. But
yeah. I think they're like a little
um,
more. They're a lot more interactive than like I feel like the DM aggro mirrors are, where you have like rug decks that are and rush decks where they're just kind of most of the time it's just a straight up race. I feel like
yeah,
yeah, but
it really like depends also on who like had the better starting hand, to be honest.
hmm
Because if you have a really good starting hand, you can like yeah, just stack up your board and yeah, try to go wide and then finish, and you don't have to like rush in.
yeah. So the Magris is it's a solid choice. I think I like Cloudwalker just as another like high power two drop to pair with Blinder Beetle. I think it's a pretty solid card as well, but it's not obviously it's not great. I think it's
Yeah,
like
maybe also another possibility would be just to play like with nature.
hmm
Um,
yeah, just
yeah, to
go
have more power.
light water nature. Maybe trim down a couple of the shield blasts to make room, cut the core isles, and then yeah.
Yeah,
But yeah, I think the main difference is for your list from the last tournament, you just added the two more evolutions. I think you cut
yeah,
the Cloudwalker drone and then cut, I think the third Storm Spark blast, and that was basically what happened.
yeah, basically.
But my deck, I brought the Waterlight Cyberlords, so a different Waterlight deck. This one's a lot more focused on just evolutions like Dendrite and Neuron, and a lot of the same stuff though. Like it's got the same 8 shield blasts, keeper of laws, Rusalkas, Finbars, Cephalias, but obviously it's just instead of being light focused, it's just splashing light for a few shield blasts and stuff like cetus. But
Yeah, it's more like mono water with some
mhm.
like the good stuff from light.
Yeah. So I don't. You didn't. You said you didn't really get any time to prepare for the matchup itself, but I did, I guess, and I felt
Yeah, I
like
didn't play it out before. Yeah.
I did a little bit of preparing, and even to be honest, I even played this matchup a while ago after like the first tournament because I had your deck built from the first tournament that we did, and I just had this one lying around as well. So that I had played a few matches in the past as well, and it's kind of hard to tell who's favored, to be honest, because I think my deck is like the favorite overall with the neurons and cetus, but I feel like it's just like a super high variance matchup because if I don't see the neurons, then my deck just like doesn't really do much. Cetus is really strong, but mostly just at the right time. Like if it just doesn't line up, then the card's almost a liability. And on top of that, just like an arbiter at the right time will just completely swing the game. The die roll is super important as well because if I play a neuron turn 3 going first, like it's almost like guaranteed to
Yeah,
break. Yeah, it just breaks
that's
two
super
shields.
super
Yeah,
hard to beat.
it just puts me really far ahead. Whereas like a neuron going second, it's good, but like you can play a psychic predator and just it's a lot worse. So I think it's just overall I felt favored, but it was like super high fluctuation. So it's almost kind of hard to tell because like the sample size is so low. Like if I just run really good with the water light deck, then it feels a lot better than it is. So I don't really know. The Predator is super important though in this matchup, just locking down evolutions, especially from
Yeah,
your
that's
side.
true.
I think it's one of the best cards you have, but I don't know. We can just jump into the match itself if you're ready.
Magris for the sixth card and played it, but
Okay.
it doesn't really
Scuff video, scuff.
affect the game because you have like just 1k
Yeah, so you don't
meter
get to
like in
attack with it.
Cyber game.
And then I have the Neuron follow up, which is really nice. So my hand is pretty good to start.
Yeah, like double Emperor Neuron is looking really good.
Mm-hmm. And unfortunately, because you didn't, yeah, no 2-drop is, I mean, I guess it's not the most important thing in this spot, but yeah.
Yeah, I think no 2-drop is not too bad, but like especially when you have Blinder Beetle, you want to have something with a decent power stat on
Yeah.
board to
Like this is where if you
like
had
clear the board.
Cloudwalker, if Cloudwalker was instead of the Magris, it would be a lot better, but
Yeah,
I
that's
just
true.
have the Neuron anyways, so it's kind of irrelevant,
Yeah, kind of doesn't matter. Yeah.
but yeah, Neuron going first is like puts me in a good spot. But I think I think I broke a shield, like a piercing judgment right away.
Yeah, the
Or on the, never mind, that's in the second shield.
Hmm.
But yeah, you don't even have like a Blinder Beetle Prime, but you do have the Rusalka, the Psychic Predator, which is,
that's a that's a good one.
yeah. So,
What I'm like, what's really sad that I don't have a blast to set with Coral here.
mm-hmm. And you pick up Cephalia, so not great.
Yeah, I just used it as like filter to like see if I can get something better out of my shield zone. And I think I set the Magris as a bluff. I don't remember.
I think
Or
this
if I
is,
just set the Cephalia back.
I think it's the Cephalia.
Yeah, because it's quite useless as I know I'm um yeah, getting beaten down
Yeah, you're
and
gonna
get all
have,
the shields back.
Yeah, you're gonna have a bunch of cards anyways, and then
Yeah.
yeah, on my side, I think I remember like thinking for a while on this turn, and I don't think I made the right decision because I'm pretty sure I just like charge the neuron and play the coral or something like that. But
Would you rather want to play the Cyber Trader?
I'm not sure. Like I guess it makes like I could just like not play something and just charge the coral, but that doesn't, and then just try to like go double neuron next turn. Like I don't have to make a play. Like obviously the idea is like charge the neuron, play the coral, and then that sets me up to go like Cyber Trader plus cetus the next turn, which
Yeah,
is
true, true.
so that's kind of the idea, I guess. But like if you have a piercing judgment, it just blocks that. But then I still have
But
I
you
don't
could
know.
also,
Yeah,
yeah, you could also charge the Cetus so you
yeah,
can't get multi-screwed again. So next turn
exactly.
you definitely have the neuron play,
Because
like the instant neuron play.
it would be nice to keep
But you
the
get
second neuron.
rewarded by picking up Cyber
Yeah, and
Sprite.
Cyber Sprite was a great card, and I think I draw a second Cyber Sprite, which is like insane. Yeah. So like whatever decision I had to make there, I basically whatever was right or wrong, I kind of just got rewarded for.
Yeah, yeah.
But yeah, I'm not really sure because I want to keep the Cetus because it's like it sets me up really well in case you have like a Blinder Beetle Prime in the next couple turns to like come over my neuron.
Yeah, makes sense. Just because, yeah, neuron is just a bit
And
too
yeah,
weak for that.
and to be honest, like it's not that bad. Yeah, because it's the problem was like there's so little likelihood that like the Corile actually stays in play. I feel going
Yeah,
into
but
my next.
I think I needed to do it that way because at least I can get rid of Coral and like I know you can
Mm-hmm.
play Neuron back
No,
next turn
no, I
for
think
sure,
pure.
but
Yeah,
I
yeah,
I needed something like to deal with the board. If I did it the other way around, I couldn't deal with Neuron and it would just
no, yeah. Your play with the
beat me
piercing
down
was right.
constantly.
I was just thinking from like the me playing the Corile to begin with. Like it might have been better.
Yeah,
Like I think because yeah, I feel like the Corile was just like so likely to stay or so unlikely to stay in play, or maybe not. I don't know. It's hard to say. But I could have just like charged it and then kept the second neuron. But breaking the piercing, it kind of makes most of that irrelevant because yeah, I don't know.
yeah. I
Hard
think
to
here
say.
with the hand, I tried to go wide and play Magrus and Skybolt and just like hope for the best. I guess that my other two shields are a bit better than Cephalia
Yeah, that makes sense. Just
because like I don't see the need for either Recycler. Like bouncing your
mm-hmm.
aura like that would be the super aggressive play because I have two attackers, but
Yeah.
I would give you another chance to set a shield blast.
And then you know the
So
neuron's just gonna come down and clear one of your creatures and draw a card anyways. So I
yeah,
think like not attacking it gives you the chance to like top deck Blinder Beetle Prime as well with the Magrus, and it keeps my board clear because if you just go like or yeah, because yeah, if you don't clear the Coral, then I could just play my own piercing and like kill all your enforcers basically.
yeah, and yeah, I
Yeah.
charged these Sasha because I think at this point I was like, no way I'm getting to 7 mana this game.
Yeah, either 7 mana or like 7 mana with shields in play is probably unlikely.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think it makes sense to just trade, and then because it makes it kind of awkward for me if I don't have the Cetus, but I have like
Oh, yeah,
the.
I'm doing a very greedy play. Like,
Oh, you didn't trade.
right now looking at it, I would just trade and then maybe
For some reason, I thought you did
poke with
trade.
Magrus, but this is very greedy.
Oh, and you try to force out the shield trigger, so it seems like you're just trying to, yeah, close the game out as soon as possible. But yeah,
Yeah,
because I have
but I
the.
mean, you can clear both my creatures now, and unless I like
Yeah, because you're.
top deck
Yeah, because you're basically just like
prime or something.
really banking on top decking a prime. Because I have like the actual kind of almost the nuts with like the C display, which is not that likely to have like double. Well, it's not even that unlikely, but it's not the
Yeah,
worst if I
double
just play
one
like.
drop.
Because even if I just go like trader plus Cetus, I can only clear one creature, and then you're actually not even that bad of a position because you have like 3 breaks and you get to summon a Rusalka for the Cetus, but
Yeah, but like I
because yeah,
um anticipated a neuron and coral. Like I I think I thought this through, but the
I
thing
feel
is I know that both my creatures are dying, so
yeah,
even without Cetus, they are
because
both dead. I don't know what came through my mind there, but
yeah, because
yeah.
you're basically
Maybe
just
just
praying.
bank on more triggers
Because yeah, that play is
or
basically
blast.
just
I'm sorry,
it's
the
just
dual
super.
masters lingo.
It's super praying to just top deck Blinder Beetle Prime because otherwise like you lose 2 creatures and then the same creatures you already have in play. I mean, you can freeze the Neuron, I guess, and then try to break 2 more shields is what you're aiming for, and then maybe just trying to close the game
Yeah.
with an Arbiter or something out of shields. But yeah, I think trading makes a little more sense. But
And you drew into another Cetus, which doesn't make things
yeah,
better for me.
yeah, it's pretty nice. So I guess you're thinking like if you want to charge the Storm Spark or the Rusalka. I don't know
Yeah.
if you're just thinking about what to play. Because like you could hold the Storm Spark for like a future Coral draw, but
Yeah, I thought about it as well, but I think that
yeah, just the Rusalka is
I don't know.
better.
I thought about different possibilities of what I can top deck and ultimately came to the conclusion like I would rather have one more mana um, instead of banking on drawing coral, especially because two of them are gone already. Like two, I had two in
Mm.
the opener, so very unlikely to see my third copy.
This play, I don't know what I think the right play. I would just be. I mean, the clear play was like just Cyber Trader Neuron, right, and just clear probably the Magris, I think.
Yeah.
But I believe, like, I forget what I was thinking in the moment, but I don't think I was even thinking of doing that. I think I was planning to go like Trader plus Rusalka, like bounce. But no, I think that makes a lot of sense. Just Neuron.
Yeah, but what do you bounce? Like
Yeah, I was like thinking, I don't even
Skyward and
remember.
Magris are very low cost, and Rusaka gets its ability on play as well. So
Yeah, it doesn't make like I would bounce the Skyvolt or maybe bounce the Magret, but I could even bounce my own Cetus, but I have a second one, so that's kind of useless. And then, but I top deck the Predator, so I can, which is nice.
yeah, but if I remember correctly, I think you play your own
Yeah,
um,
I play my own
Predator
Predator,
Rusaka, and yeah,
which
that blocks mine from attacking, which then I can't block your Cetus. So I
I'm
think
still not.
that's the game-winning play here.
I'm not even sure if it is it actually better than just clearing the Magris. I don't think it is. Like I think I should have just still played the Neuron and killed the Magris because yeah, it plays around the Blinder Beetle Prime, and even if you freeze the Cetus and break like 2 shields on the next turn, I can still just play Neuron. And if you don't answer the Trader, I can go like Trader plus, or like I still have the Neuron in play. I mean, so you can't like freeze
Yeah,
both
true.
evolutions, and you have no Enforcer in play. So I think it might have been better to just kill the Neuron and then save the Rusalka for next turn. But now,
Yeah, in this turn, I just think about clearing all shields and hope for a Storm Spark in my shields, or maybe like let you think that my set
mm-hmm,
shield is Storm Spark.
it's kind of tricky. This matchup is like really back and forth and tricky in a lot of ways. Cause
Like because I think clearing the two creatures isn't too great because I know the
mm-hmm,
Um,
The cetus just comes over
yeah,
the Blinder
other
Beetle
stuff
Prime,
is
and
coming.
then you're down like 3 other cards, because I have like 4 cards in hand,
Mm.
one of which is a neuron. So, so yeah, if I remember, you just go for the shields right away. I guess you could have cleared the predator, but yeah, you just want to break everything.
Yeah, just set you to 0 because
Mhm.
I like didn't expect another cetus.
Mhm.
But yeah, this Arbiter seals the deal, I
Yeah,
think.
the arbiter is nice, but
I think the only thing you have to do now is maybe play around different blasts that could be in the set shield.
mhm. Yeah, I can be kind of patient. I don't think I closed the game. From what I remember, I don't think I closed it out optimally, but it doesn't matter too much at this point, because yeah, that arbiter just clears the board. But I don't know. One of the things, like going aggro there, I feel like even if I don't have the cetus, if you try to break all the shields and one of them's a piercing, I could like bounce my own cetus back and then replay it to get back a shield, and then that still kind of clears the whole board. So like even piercing is pretty good, but I guess you just kind of have to make the aggro play. And then
And yeah, at this point you also know what your shields are. Maybe if you have a blast in there,
yeah, now I think the
could
second
also
cetus is
help.
an arbiter,
Yeah, the second seed is put an Arbiter again.
which is nice.
Now you just clear the board, which makes sense. A lot of sense.
Mhm.
Now I already know that I can't win this anymore because like the set shield is not that great,
Yeah.
and I basically needed like double Arbiter and Storm Spark in the perfect uh like
Mhm.
order to win this.
I feel like maybe I should have just broken one shield that turn, but
Yeah, but
it doesn't really
I
matter too
can get
much.
why you didn't do it.
Yeah, cause like, yeah, I guess like the worry is like
Like
if I
why
break
risk
an
it?
arbiter, then you play Blinder Beetle Prime, and then I lose both my shields, and then next turn, like if I try to go in at 0 shield, I don't know. But even then,
Yeah.
it's just so unlikely. Like I can even just next turn play Finbar to bounce the Cetus back and clear your Blinder Beetle Prime, and then yeah, just it's so unlikely. Anyways, yeah, this game is the Cetus were super clutch, but they lined up super well as well. Like just having the double 1 mana baits, but
Yeah, the double one drop play was very nice, but I think Cetus in general in this matchup, like it's basically why Starnoid from DM,
hmm
but you can choose a bit what you get to your
yeah,
shields, and uh,
yeah,
yeah,
it swings over everything. It
bit cheaper.
and gets shields and draws cards, and yeah, it's really nice.
Yeah,
And
very
usually,
cheap and
yeah,
does
yeah,
a lot. Yeah, the thing is, it's not like from an advantage standpoint, it's
hmm
not that big, but if you can have like a cheap Evo baits like you had this game, double one drop,
yeah.
it's really worth it.
Because like in this matchup, like both people are usually playing with like a fair amount of cards in hand, because there's a lot of like shield breaking and back and forth, and like my deck has neurons to draw cards, and Cephalia, if ever Cephalia is played, like there's just so many cards flying around that usually it's not too hard to just spend a bunch on a Cetus, and it swings the game
Yeah,
really, really heavily. But yeah, that game was just. I mean, I went first with the Neuron. I think you had the piercing to slow me down a little bit, and some aggro creatures, but then yeah, the Arbiter and Shields plus just both Cetus was just kind of too much to handle. But we can
Mhm.
jump into. Do you need time to set it up, or do you have game two ready to go?
No, I have it set up. I have it set up.
Sweet. So we can jump in. Sorry for the spoilers. The
Magrous again.
Megas again. So yeah, you're kind of set up to curve out, but you want to hold the Cephalia if you're gonna plan on
Yeah.
going.
The thing is, like with this opening hand, maybe I was a bit uh, too like narrow-minded. I was just seeing the curve into Cephalia and was like,
Hmm.
yeah, just rush in here and try to win off of Cephalia alone, like that I can generate so much advantage that it's enough to win the game.
Yeah,
Um,
but it's a ways away, and you're like this is, yeah, you're already down so many cards.
yeah, that's true.
Cause yeah, it's just like
Like
hard to.
I was really banking on that Cephalia resolving
Yeah,
in this
cause it's just
game.
like hard to. Cause like when I have Neuron in my deck, especially like if you have Blinder Beetle though in your hand here, like it's actually just insane. Like this is one of the strengths though, is like some of your best draws against me are going first, like 2-drop into Blinder Beetle to take my bait, and then I can't land Neuron.
Yeah,
Like it's just super crushing. But
that,
but yeah,
and yeah, here I just play another 2-drop and I'm like, screw it, go
yeah,
in.
yeah,
I will have
and then
the cards in hand for Cephalia later, but then this little card
the Arbiter,
completely
yeah,
screwed
perfect
my
timing.
whole like
Yeah,
play.
that.
Like I really needed the Magrous to sink another attack in.
Because yeah, it's just so hard for this plan to work out in this matchup. Because like I just land a Neuron, and then like you're so low on cards that it's kind of really hard to actually like when you devote like a whole resource to the Magrous, like it's really hard. Like the Magrous dies to everything, and it's really hard to
Yeah.
have the other resources to like play your Rusalkas and like back up your aggression plan well. And you also just like really fold to Arbiter in this matchup. Unless you have, I mean, if those are double Skyvolt mechs, it's a lot different. But
Yeah, I mean the plan was a bit too glass cannon and yeah,
probably because like yeah, if I just
not
have the
not, not
Neuron,
really not really a good play. And here I'm really
but I mean at the same
start
time, your opening
thinking,
hand, like what else is your opening hand really doing? So
yeah,
like I could
true.
definitely see because if it works out and I don't have any triggers, then like I'm pretty hard for me to catch up.
Yeah.
But I don't know.
Here I make a crucial mistake and like try to go for the
Don't.
Cephalia plane uh, still, and then even don't see that there's a blocker on board, and I'm
It's all
still
good. I made the same
all
mistake.
on that Cephalia. I should have kept the Blinder Beetle Prime and charged the Cephalia because this turn you will just swing for shields and make it useless.
Yeah, I could definitely see that. Just keep the creature, because like yeah, if you get like an Arbiter out of shields, and then you have the Blinder Beetle follow up, you can break all my shields. And then I mean
Yeah,
not now obviously with the bounce, but like you
yeah,
could
the Rusalka
potentially.
was good. Yeah, the Rusalka.
But yeah, that's like one of the ways you
Um,
win this game is probably like I break an Arbiter this turn, and then you break all my shields on your turn, and then I might be forced to go for game if I don't have a cetus, and then you could have like a Storm Spark to win it. So like that's one of the few ways you can probably win, I guess. And you sort of need the Blinder Beetle Prime to do that. But
and I'm lucky enough to get another one, but if I had like the first one from the mana zone, I could set up to play Magrous into Blinder Beetle Prime next turn. So yeah, it
mm,
would have made life a bit easier. But also because he bounced my bait, I needed an arbiter from shields anyway, so
yeah,
didn't really make that much of a difference.
no, yeah, I guess you just corral. But again, once again, you don't have a single blast to set, which is like kind of
Yeah. Yeah,
weird.
that's why I don't
Yeah,
play Coral and Shield Ring. I just play Recycle and Magrous
yeah.
to
There's an
get one
argument.
body off.
Like I don't know. Or no, yeah, you have Magris. Never mind. Sorry, I was gonna say there's an argument to putting two, but I forgot you just have the Magris. But now I just have like yeah, Cetus.
which is again great because I need double trigger now to survive or have a Storm Spark.
Mm-hmm. I don't think it gets me the cetus gets me a shield blast, but yeah, this game was just like the arbiter basically. Like you went for the kind of all-in strategy, and I just had like the perfect timed arbiter. And then from
Yeah, yeah,
there,
true.
I was up a few cards as well from like the shield breaks and going second, and then I also had a bunch of cheap things to deploy, and then yeah, just not much you could really do, to be honest.
Yeah, looking back at it, maybe it would have been better to just sit on the board and wait a bit, but
Hmm.
like looking at my shields, like there was zero blasts, and like last game there was only one piercing, so not too lucky in that
Yeah, no
department.
shield
So
triggers. Yeah, there just
couldn't
wasn't
really
too much. Like
like
you're.
if I wait, I think I lose as well. Doesn't really matter here if I wait in game two and just sit
Hmm.
on like shield wings and Magrus.
Yeah, I think so. But yeah, yeah. I mean, the Cetus definitely. I mean, the Cetus wasn't super insane there, but I guess it did insulate me from like losing to an arbiter. But that was
Yeah,
more just. I mean, kind of what I was talking about is this matchup does feel kind of high rolly, where it's just like the well-timed shield blast, like most aggro mirrors, I guess. It's like well-timed shield blast and the right plays, I guess.
it's true. Like that's the Agromeros and DM. It's who has Aqua Surfer in their
Hmm.
shields.
And yeah, I guess like that's part of why I think my side is a little bit favored is because like Neuron and Cetus are a little more resilient to the shield blast as
Yeah,
opposed to like your deck, which is a lot more like based on just kind of like it's a little bit more meant to go wide, and like your evolution is only Blinder Beetle Prime. Because Sasha's obviously like it's kind of shown that it's like a little bit too expensive to be relevant that often.
yeah,
And then
yeah.
the
It's only like good in the matchups versus like
mhm,
control
and mid
like
range
decks
and
like
dragons.
dragons
Hmm.
or like ramp decks where you have time as well to like set it up.
Yeah. So yeah, to be honest, like it probably showed. Like if I my deck can probably brick a little bit harder than yours, but it felt find kind of the opposite this match. But
Yeah, no, yeah, like that was really great.